Hello and welcome to Saltwire Today for Friday, February 24th. I'm Scott Squires, in for Kate Walker. Much of our region woke up to wintry weather today with slippery roads, travel disruptions, and school cancellations. Let's check in with a bundled up Alistair Alders for the latest on the snowy system.
Hi there, Scott. Well, why didn't you join me out here today? It was truly like a winter wonderland, kind of nice, although certainly the right call for the school closures and cancellations that we did have because the snowfall rates did intensify through the morning and the afternoon, and we also had winds picking up, so visibility was poor for many areas. Take a look at the system on the satellite and radar imagery, and you can see where we had that heavy band of snow set up. It was essentially from southern Colchester County into HRM, stretching back into the Annapolis Valley and parts of the North Shore where we had snow at times heavy and multiple centimeters an hour being reported for some locations. Now, the radar does not show the full story. We had some flurries and at times light snow along the North Shore of Nova Scotia into Cape Breton, and then a very mixed picture in the southwest corner of Nova Scotia where we had a bit of snow, some ice, some rain, and you might be able to see it on the loop there, but a bit of sunshine did come out at one point for parts of the South Shore, including Yarmouth, but then did transition back over to a bit of snow. Now, on the weather timeline, we're pretty much done with the system as we head into the evening. There will be some lingering flurries thanks to some brisk north and then over to northwest winds. And given that the snow is quite fluffy for many areas, we will continue to see some blowing and drifting snow through the evening hours. But for the most part, the steadiest snow does move offshore this evening. Winds will remain strong, so that's why we will see the blowing snow through the evening hours. Conditions improving, though, as we go into and throughout Saturday. The weekend, though, set to be cold, and I'll have your full Halifax forecast coming up in just a bit. Scott.
Thanks, Alistair. We'll check in with Alistair later in the show. Today marks the first anniversary of the Russian invasion of Ukraine. The Nova Scotia branch of the Ukrainian Canadian Congress has organized a vigil at Grand Parade in Halifax, scheduled for 5:30 tonight. The event is called 365 Days of Resistance Candlelight Vigil in solidarity with Ukraine, and those attending are asked to wear blue and yellow. In a rare occurrence, researchers in West Iceland spotted an orca caring for a newborn long-finned pilot whale calf. The female, known as Cedes, was spotted with the emaciated calf swimming at her side, suggesting she may have taken it in as her own. The calf was thin to start with, and the female wasn't nursing any other calves. The pilot whale calf wasn't seen a second time, so researchers think things didn't end well for the calf. Elizabeth Zwamborn of Dalhousie University said she and other researchers will continue to observe these unusual interactions between the killer whale and pilot whale populations off Iceland. The team's findings have been published in the Canadian Journal of Zoology. Our John McPhee will have more at saltwire.com. Our resident sommelier is back from Paris, France, where he was covering the best sommelier in the world competition. Let's see what wine from France Mark is recommending us to try this weekend.
This week I'm recommending a wine you can feel pretty good about. Jean-Marc Brocard Kimmeridgian Chardonnay from Burgundy in France. Why can you feel good about it? Well, 1, it's made from biodynamically grown grapes. 2, it's naturally fermented. 3, you can buy it at Bishop Cellar, a store that really puts a lot of emphasis into purchasing wines that are sustainable. 4, it just tastes pretty darn good. So don't expect an opulent Chardonnay, expect one with some freshness, a little savoriness, little apple, green apple flavors. And 5, it goes really well with food. Thanks to Fernando at Bishop Cellar for recommending this one with seafood pasta.
For more wine tips, recipes, interviews with local and international food and drink personalities, visit the Wine and Dine section at saltwire.com. Let's check out a clip from today's Thinking Out Loud with Sheldon McLeod. Today, Sheldon chats with Keontae Beals, who has just released his second children's book.
Tell me a little bit about the story. Tell me where this comes from, or for people who don't know or haven't heard yet.
Yeah, so I Am a King basically follows young Shamar, who is the main character, and his dad as they take you on a journey through what it means to be a king. So in the book, they talk about, how to treat a queen, being a king, but also having a gracious heart, and also feeling your feelings. If you need cry or whatever the case may be, the same way you feel joy, to do that. And that it's okay to do those things. So for me, that story just comes from, my own personal life. I feel like hearing stories of, you ain't supposed to show emotions and things of that nature. You just gotta kind of keep it moving. Inspired me to, I guess, talk about, how those things affect, us as men in general, but especially coming from my perspective as a Black man, like there's often times where we have to continue to just fight, all the time, and we don't get the opportunity to feel our feelings, or at least, they didn't before. So it's just kind of, spreading the message that it's okay to feel your feelings, and it's actually healthy to do things that way you're able to move more efficiently.
To watch Sheldon's full interview, click on the opinion section at saltwire.com, and while you're there, click the podcast link for Sheldon's podcasts. Saltwire is a proud sponsor of the 2023 Prince Edward Island Canada Games, and on today's Atlantic Sports Wire, we hurry hard to a story from Jason Simmons.
Nova Scotia will play for a gold medal in female curling at the 2023 Canada Winter Games. The Sophie Blades skipped Nova Scotia rink outlasted Saskatchewan 8-6 in a semifinal game in Summerside, February 24th.
Feels really great. We've worked for this for so long as our teams.
Nova Scotia will face Alberta in the gold medal game, which takes place at the Silver Fox Entertainment Complex on February 24th at 6 p.m. Alberta won its semifinal game 7-3 over Quebec, while the back-and-forth game between Nova Scotia and Saskatchewan came right down to the wire as Blades delivered a pressure-filled shot on her final rock to help Nova Scotia steal one for the 2-point win.
We had to come through a few high guards and throw about hack weight and tap our reds into their yellows. We were throwing hack weight just so that we knew we had that catcher in the back, and it just got by the top center guard, so...
In a game featuring lots of momentum swings, Blade said Nova Scotia was able to maintain an even keel and approach.
Oh, that's really important. And for us as a team, we just come together between ends, and we're always talking through the end, of course, but between ends is where we really just center ourselves and make sure that we're ready to go for the next one, because every end is different and you've got new opportunities.
Nova Scotia goes into the gold medal game with a record of 5-1, while Alberta is 6-1. Nova Scotia defeated Alberta 7-4 in pool play. In Summerside, Prince Edward Island, I'm Jason Simmons for the Atlantic Sports Wire.
Keeping with sports, here's something pretty cool for your Friday. The Halifax Western Capitals of the Maritime Major U18 Female Hockey League recently welcomed Charlotte Frail onto the ice for warm-ups during a recent game in Kentville. It was a special moment for Frail and the Capitals players as they got to spend some time together and talk hockey. For the Western Capitals, well, they've advanced to the Nova Scotia Major U18 final against the Northern Subway Selects, and I'm sure Charlotte will be cheering for the Caps. Now to see what's coming up in the forecast, we're going to check in once again with our weather specialist, Alistair Alders. Alistair?
Hi again, Scott. Well, this snowy weather will be departing, and the overall weekend not looking too bad weather-wise, but it certainly will be cold. This evening, we will have mainly cloudy skies with a chance of flurries, and given that the snow today was very fluffy and it will still be windy this evening, we will see some blowing and drifting snow. Now, it does get cold as we head through the night tonight. We'll be near -12 this evening and near -17 waking up on Saturday morning. The wind chill between -20 and -25. So a bitter start to the day. We'll wake up to a mix of sun and cloud, and a mix of sun and cloud throughout the day on Saturday, with the temperature heading up to -10 for the high with the wind chill near -16. So it's going to be a cold day overall. We'll also have a mix of sun and cloud on Sunday. The temperature does moderate somewhat up to -6, -7 for the daytime high on our Sunday. Wind chill's not a huge concern. So certainly temperatures warming, but still cold as we go later this weekend. I guess the bit of good news, if you are a fan of the winter weather, we've had so much up and down with our temperatures this winter that when we get the snow, it usually melts right away. But the cold weather will be sticking with us well into next week, so this will be great if you're itching to do any outdoor winter activities. Be sure to take advantage of it this weekend. In terms of weather systems, a weak clipper could brush southwest Nova Scotia late Sunday. Not really a concern for us. Then watching a system maybe late Tuesday, Wednesday. Still quite a bit of disagreement amongst the models with that system. Have a great weekend. Scott.
Thanks, Alistair. That's all for now. For more extended video and full online articles, stay tuned to saltwire.com, and you can find us on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. I'm Scott Squires. Thank you for spending some time with us at Saltwire today. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you back here on Monday.